Imagine this. In a dark, crowded restaurant late at night, a tough Korean man named Min-jae Park stands up from his table. He's the boss of a secret group that does bad things, like a mafia leader. His face is red with anger, and his eyes are like sharp knives. He points at a young black waitress named Zara Thompson, who's just carrying plates of food. "You think you can talk back to me?" he yells, his voice booming like thunder. The whole room goes quiet. People stop eating and stare. Min-jae cracks his knuckles and says, "I challenge you to a fight right now. Let's see what you've got." Zara looks calm, but inside, her heart is racing. She's not just a waitress, she's a secret boxer who's won many tough fights in hidden rings. But Min-jae doesn't know that. He laughs meanly, thinking she's weak. Zara sets down her tray slowly. The air feels thick, like before a big storm. Will she fight? Or walk away? Everyone holds their breath. Whoa, what a wild start, right? If you're hooked already, smash that like button and comment below. Where are you watching this from? Is it your cozy bed, or maybe on the bus? Let me know. Okay, let's rewind and see how this crazy night began. It all started earlier that evening in a busy city called Riverside. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange and pink. Zara Thompson was getting ready for her shift at the Golden Dragon restaurant. It was a fancy place that served Korean food like spicy noodles and grilled meat. Zara was 25 years old, with curly black hair tied back in a ponytail and a big smile that made customers feel happy. She had smooth brown skin and strong arms from all her secret training. Zara wasn't always a waitress. Back home in a small town, she loved boxing. Her dad taught her when she was little. "Hit hard but think smart," he always said. She won trophies in school fights, but life got tough. Her family needed money, so she moved to the city. By day, she worked at the restaurant, wiping tables and taking orders. But at night, in old gyms far away, she put on gloves and fought like a champion. No one at work knew her secret. She kept it hidden because boxing could be dangerous, especially for a girl like her in a big city full of strangers. That night, the restaurant was packed. Families laughed, friends chatted, and the smell of yummy food filled the air. Zara hurried from table to table, her apron spotted with sauce. "Can I get you more water?" she asked a group of kids. They nodded, giggling. She felt good, tips were coming in, and her boss, Mr. Lee, smiled at her hard work. Then, the door swung open with a bang. In walked Min-jae Park and his gang. Min-jae was tall and scary, with short black hair and a long coat that hid his muscles. He was the leader of a hidden mafia group in the city. They did sneaky things like taking money from shops and making deals in the shadows. People whispered about him, saying he never lost a fight. His friends followed him like shadows, all wearing dark suits and mean looks. "Table for 5, Min-jae barked at the host. They sat in the corner, away from everyone. Zara saw them and felt a chill. She had heard stories about mafia guys causing trouble. But she took a deep breath and walked over. "Hi, what can I get for you?" she asked politely. Min-jae looked up, his eyes narrow. "Bring us the best meat and rice. And make it fast." His voice was rough, like gravel. Zara nodded and wrote it down. As she turned, one of his friends knocked over a glass on purpose. Water splashed everywhere, soaking the floor. "Oops," the friend said with a fake smile. Zara sighed inside but kept calm. She grabbed a towel and cleaned it up. "No problem," she said. But Min-jae wasn't happy. "Hey, waitress. This place is dirty. Do your job better," he shouted. People nearby looked over, whispering. Zara felt her cheeks get hot. She wasn't used to being yelled at like that. "I'm sorry, sir. I'll get your food right away," she replied, trying to stay nice. But inside, her boxer side wanted to stand up for herself. She went to the kitchen, her hands shaking a little. Why are some people so rude, she thought. Back at the table, Min-jae and his gang laughed loudly. They ordered more food but complained about everything. "This soup is too hot," one said. "The rice is too sticky," another grumbled. Zara brought new plates, but they kept being mean. She could feel the tension building, like a rubber band stretching tighter and tighter. Then it got worse. Min-jae waved her over. "Girl, you spilled sauce on my coat," he lied, pointing at a tiny spot that wasn't even there. Zara looked closely. "Sir, I don't think so. Maybe it's from your food," she said softly. Min Jae's face turned dark. He stood up slowly, towering over her. The restaurant got quiet again. His friends smirked, like they knew trouble was coming. "Are you calling me a liar?" Min Jae growled. Zara's heart pounded. She knew she should back down, but her pride, the same pride that made her a great boxer, bubbled up. "No, sir. But I didn't spill anything," she said firmly, looking him in the eyes. Min Jae leaned closer, his breath smelling like garlic. "You got a big mouth for a little waitress. Maybe I should teach you a lesson." The words hung in the air like a storm cloud. Zara felt a spark of fear, but also anger. What would happen next? Would he really start a fight here? Just then Mr. Lee, the boss, rushed over. "Please, sir, calm down. Free dessert for your table," he said, trying to fix things. Min Jae sat back down, grumbling. Zara walked away, her legs feeling wobbly. But she could hear him whispering to his friends, "That girl needs to learn respect." The night went on. Zara served other tables, but her mind was on Min Jae. She wondered if he was really as tough as he looked. Little did she know, he was planning something big. As the clock ticked closer to closing time, the tension grew. Customers left one by one, until only a few were left. Finally, Zara brought the bill to Min Jae's table. "Here you go," she said. He snatched it and threw money on the table. But as he stood to leave, he accidentally bumped into her hard, making her drop a tray. Plates crashed to the floor with a loud smash. "Oops," Min Jae said, mocking her earlier cleanup. His gang laughed. "That was it." Zara had enough. "That wasn't an accident," she said, her voice strong. Min Jae turned, his smile gone. "What did you say?" "You heard me," Zara replied, standing tall. The room froze. Min Jae stepped closer, cracking his knuckles again. "You want to fight about it? Right here, right now?" Zara's eyes widened. Her secret boxer skills flashed in her mind. But fighting in the restaurant? That could get her fired, or worse. What would she do? The challenge was out there, hanging like a bomb about to explode. The restaurant lights felt too bright, like spotlights on a stage. Zara stood there, feet planted firm on the sticky floor, staring straight at Min Jae. Her hands were still clenched from dropping the tray. Broken plates lay around her like sharp teeth. Min Jae's challenge echoed in her ears. "You want to fight about it? Right here, right now?" For a second, time stopped. Zara's mind raced back to all those nights in the gym. The smell of sweat and leather gloves. The sound of her fists hitting the bag. Thump, 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 like a heartbeat. She could feel the power in her arms, the way her body knew exactly what to do when danger came. But this wasn't a ring with rules and a referee. This was real life, with police and jobs and everything on the line. Mr. Lee stepped between them, hands up like he was stopping traffic. "No, no, no fights here. Please, sir, take your money and go. Go to the back now." His voice shook a little. He knew who Min Jae was, the kind of man who could make problems for the restaurant if he wanted. Min Jae laughed, but it wasn't a happy laugh. It was cold, like ice cracking. "Your little waitress thinks she's tough. But not here. Outside. In the alley behind the building. 5 minutes." He looked at Zara like she was a bug he could squash. "Or are you scared now?" His gang stood up slowly, chairs scraping loud. They blocked the door a bit, making sure no one could leave easy. Customers whispered and grabbed their things, hurrying out. One lady dropped her purse in panic. Zara felt sick. She didn't want anyone hurt because of her. But something inside Zara snapped. She had taken rude customers before. She had smiled through mean words. But tonight felt different. Maybe it was the way he bumped her on purpose. Maybe it was how he looked down on her like she was nothing. Or maybe it was just time to stop hiding who she really was. Zara lifted her chin. "Okay," she said quietly. "Alley. 5 minutes." The room gasped. Mr. Lee's eyes went wide. "Zara, what are you doing? Go home." But she was already walking to the back, untying her apron. Her heart pounded so hard she thought everyone could hear it. She slipped into the small staff room, closed the door, and leaned against the wall. Breathe, she told herself. Just breathe. She pulled out her phone and texted her best friend, Mia, who knew her secret. Big trouble at work. Mafia guy challenged me to fight. I'm going through with it. Pray for me. Mia replied fast. What? Don't do it alone. But I'm coming. No time, Zara typed back. Just wish me luck. She changed quickly into her spare hoodie and sneakers she kept in her locker. No gloves, no mouthguard. This wasn't going to be pretty. She looked in the tiny mirror. Her eyes looked fierce, like the girl who knocked out opponents in underground fights. You got this, she whispered to herself. Outside, the night air was cool. The alley smelled like garbage and rain from earlier. A single streetlight flickered, making long shadows. Min-jae waited there with 3 of his men. They formed a loose circle, like a bad version of a boxing ring. No ropes, no bell, just concrete and danger. Min-jae took off his coat and handed it to one of his guys. Underneath, he wore a tight black shirt that showed big muscles. Scars ran across his knuckles, old fight marks. He rolled his shoulders and cracked his neck. Last chance to run, girl. I don't like hurting women, but I will. Zara stepped into the light. She pulled her hoodie sleeves up, showing strong arms. You started this. Let's finish it. One of Min-jae's men laughed. Boss, she's tiny. This will be quick. Min-jae smiled slow. But I need to blow off steam. He lunged first, fast for a big man. His fist came straight for her face. Zara ducked smooth, like she'd done 1,000 times. She felt the whoosh of air as his punch missed. Her boxer instincts kicked in hard. She popped back up and threw a quick jab to his ribs. The Min-jae grunted, surprised. He swung again, wilder this time. Zara slipped to the side, letting his fist hit nothing but air. She countered with a hook to his jaw. Crack. His head snapped back. His gang's mouths dropped open. What the? Min-jae touched his lip. A little blood. His eyes narrowed. Lucky shot, he growled. Then he charged like a bull. This time he grabbed her arm, trying to slam her against the wall. Zara twisted free, using a move her dad taught her. She spun and kicked low, her foot connected with his knee. Not hard enough to break, but enough to make him stumble. He roared in anger. You think you're clever? He came at her again, fists flying. Zara blocked some, dodged others. Sweat started dripping down her face. Her breathing got heavy. Min-jae was strong, really strong. Each hit she blocked felt like hitting a brick. But she was faster. She danced around him, landing sharp punches to his body. One to the stomach made him double over for a second. Another to the cheek made his eye swell. The gang started yelling. Get her, boss. Finish this. Zara felt a rush, like in her real fights when the crowd cheered. But this wasn't fun. This was scary. What if she lost? What if he really hurt her? Min-jae wiped blood from his mouth and smiled again, meaner this time. Not bad, Waitress. But playtime's over. He reached into his pocket slow. Zara froze. Was it a knife? A gun? Her stomach dropped. He pulled out brass knuckles. Shiny metal that gleamed under the light. He slipped them on, one by one. Now we'll see how tough you really are. Zara's eyes went wide. This just got way more dangerous. Her heart hammered. She backed up a step, mind racing for a plan. Min-jae advanced, knuckles ready to crush. Min-jae slipped the brass knuckles on with a metallic clink that echoed in the quiet alley. The streetlight caught the shiny edges, making them look extra dangerous. Zara took another step back, her sneakers scraping on the wet concrete. Her mind screamed one thing, get out now. But her feet stayed planted. Running would mean he won. And she was tired of losing to bullies like him. You look scared now, Min-jae said, flexing his fingers inside the metal. His swollen eye made him look even meaner. But that's how it should be. His gang laughed nervously. They hadn't expected this to last this long. One of them muttered, Boss, maybe we should just leave. Cops might come. Shut up, Min-jae snapped. He stepped forward slow, like a predator closing in. Zara's breathing steadied. She remembered what her dad always said, when they bring weapons you bring speed and smarts. No more playing nice. She bounced lightly on her toes, eyes locked on his hands. Min-jae swung hard, a big haymaker aimed at her head. The brass knuckles whistled through the air. Zara ducked low, really low, almost touching the ground. As he missed and stumbled forward from the force, she exploded upward. Her fist shot straight into his chin, uppercut with everything she had. Min-jae's head snapped back. The brass knuckles flew off one hand and clattered across the pavement. He staggered, eyes glassy for a second. Blood trickled from his split lip. The gang went silent. No more laughs. Zara didn't stop. She followed with a quick 1-2, jab to the nose, hook to the ribs. Thud-thud. Min-jae grunted and swung wild, but she was already moving, circling him like a shadow. Every time he lunged, she slipped away and landed another clean shot. His breathing got loud and ragged. Sweat poured down his face. Just a waitress, he gasped between punches. Zara didn't answer. She focused. Her arms burned, but she kept going. One more hook to the body made him double over, clutching his side. For the first time, Min-jae looked unsure. He backed up against the dumpster, breathing hard. His gang shifted, not sure what to do. One reached for something in his jacket, maybe a knife. Zara saw it. Her stomach twisted. This was getting out of control. Enough, she shouted, holding up her hands. I'm done. Walk away. No one has to get hurt worse. Min-jae straightened slowly, wiping blood from his mouth. For a moment, it looked like he might listen. His eyes searched her face, really looked at her. Not as a weak waitress, but as someone who just beat him fair. Then his face twisted again. Anger. He couldn't let a little girl humiliate him in front of his men. No, he growled. This isn't over. He charged one last time, no plan, just rage. Zara sidestepped, but he clipped her shoulder hard. Pain shot down her arm. She stumbled, back hitting the brick wall. Min-jae grinned through the blood. Got you. He raised his fist, the one still wearing the knuckles. Zara's vision blurred for a second from the hit. She tasted blood in her mouth. Everything slowed down. She saw Mia's text in her mind, Mr. Lee's scared face, her dad's old boxing gloves hanging in her room back home. This couldn't end like this. With a deep breath, she pushed off the wall. As Min-jae swung down, she ducked under his arm, grabbed his wrist, and twisted, just like in training. He yelped. She used his momentum to spin him around and slam him face-first into the dumpster. Metal banged loud. He slid down to his knees, dazed. Zara stood over him, chest heaving. Stay down, she said quietly. The gang froze. No one moved to help their boss. Sirens wailed in the distance. Someone must have called the police. Min-jae looked up at her, one eye almost swollen shut. For the first time, there was something different in his stare. Not hate. Maybe respect? He coughed, then spoke low so only she could hear. Bounced off the wet alley walls like angry fireflies. Zara didn't answer. She just stared back. Closer, fists still maybe 3 cars. The sirens got closer. Min-jae was still on his knees. Red and blue lights one hand flashed at the end of the dumpster. Breathing like he'd men started backing away. Blood dripped from his nose onto the concrete. Next? Would his remaining brass knuckle lay a few feet away? Or would Min-jae have one last trick? Zara stood a few steps back, fists still raised, but her shoulders dropped a little. She could feel the ache in her knuckles, the sting on her cheek where he'd clipped her, the burn in her lungs. She didn't want to hit him anymore. She just wanted this nightmare to end. Min-jae looked up at her. His good eye was bloodshot but clear. For the first time that night he didn't look like a monster. He looked like a tired man who'd made too many bad choices. You could have run, he said, voice rough and low. Most people would have. Zara lowered her hands slowly. I'm not most people. One of his men took a step forward, hand inside his jacket. Boss. Stay, Min-jae barked without looking back. The man froze. The sirens were almost on top of them now. Tires screeched at the mouth of the alley. Min-jae pushed himself up. He swayed, but stayed on his feet. He wiped his mouth with the back of his hand, smearing blood across his cheek. "I've fought a lot of men," he said. "Big ones. Crazy ones. Never lost like this." He paused, almost like the words hurt more than the punches. "You're no waitress." Zara didn't smile. She didn't gloat. She just watched him. He took a shaky breath. "I could tell my guys to finish this. Or pull a gun. Or disappear before the cops get here." He glanced at the flashing lights getting brighter. "But I won't." Zara's eyebrows lifted slightly. Min-jae looked at his men. "Go. Now." They hesitated. "I said go," he snapped. They scattered like shadows, disappearing around the corner just as the first police car turned into the alley. Min-jae turned back to Zara. "This isn't mercy. It's respect." He coughed once, winced. "Don't ever let anyone make you feel small again. Not even me." He took one step toward the opposite end of the alley, away from the police. Zara spoke for the first time in what felt like forever. "Wait." He stopped. She walked closer, not threatening, just steady. "You don't have to keep doing this. The fighting. The fear. The hurting people. You can stop." Min-jae gave a short, bitter laugh. "Too late for that, girl." "Maybe not," she said quietly. "My dad used to say the hardest fight is the one you walk away from." He stared at her for a long second. Something flickered in his face. Regret, maybe. Or just exhaustion. Then he nodded once. Barely. The police cars screeched to a stop. Doors flew open. Officers shouted, "Hands up! Everyone!" Min-jae raised his hands slowly. But before they reached him, he looked back at Zara one last time. "Tell them I attacked you first," he said. "They'll believe it." Zara shook her head. "I don't lie." He almost smiled. Small, crooked, real. "Then tell them the truth. See what happens." Officers rushed in, guns drawn. They tackled Min-jae to the ground. He didn't fight. He let them cuff him without a word. Another officer ran to Zara. "Ma'am, are you okay? What happened here?" Zara looked at the man being led away in cuffs. His head was down, but he glanced back once. Their eyes met. She took a deep breath. "He challenged me to a fight," she said. "And he lost." The officer blinked. You fought him?" Zara nodded. "Yeah. And I won." Behind her, Mia came sprinting into the alley, out of breath. "Zara. Oh my God." Zara turned, and for the first time that night she let herself smile, just a little. The police took statements. Mr. Lee arrived looking like he might faint. Customers who'd stayed to watch told their versions. Phones had recorded bits and pieces. The story spread fast. By morning, clips were already online. Waitress knocks out Korean gang leader in alley fight. People called her brave. Some called her crazy. A few boxing gyms reached out, offering her a Real shot. Min-jae? He went to jail. Not for long. His lawyers were good, but long enough to think. Rumors said he started reading books inside. Maybe even boxing manuals. Who knows? Zara went back to work the next week. Same apron. Same smile. But now everyone knew her name. Kids asked for autographs on napkins. Old ladies patted her hand and said, "Good for you, dear." And every time someone got rude at a table, she didn't flinch. She just looked them in the eye and said, calm as anything, "Would you like to take that outside?" They never did. End of story. What an insane ride, right? From a quiet restaurant shift to the fight of a lifetime. If Zara's story fired you up, smash that like button, drop a comment with your favorite moment, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to this channel to support our growth. New wild stories dropping soon, don't miss them. But thank you for watching all the way to the end. You're the real MVP.